What if I told you Africa once held an empire as powerful as Rome, yet you've probably never heard of it? A lost kingdom with Christian kings, its own written script, and trade routes stretching from Alexandria to India. This is the story of Aksum, one of the four great powers of the ancient world. And yet, history almost forgot it. Aksum wasn't a myth. It was a real city and a powerful empire based in what is now northern Ethiopia and Eritrea. From the 1st to the 7th century CE, Aksum was the beating heart of an African superpower. Imagine tall stone obelisks, bustling marketplaces, ships docking on the Red Sea. This wasn't a tribal confederation. It was an organized, urbanized state with international reach. A Persian document from the 3rd century named Aksum alongside Rome, Persia, and China as the four greatest powers in the world. Think about that. Aksum didn't rise out of nowhere. Unlike some misconceptions, it didn't emerge from a foreign Sabaean colony. It was homegrown, built by local African peoples, including the Aga and other Cushitic speakers. Aksum's rulers controlled mountain passes, fertile plateaus, and crucial ports. Its merchants were masters of Red Sea trade. Ivory, gold, frankincense, and slaves were traded for Roman wine, Indian spices, and Arabian textiles, and they wrote in Gwizi, Africa's only indigenous written script still used in Ethiopian liturgy. Today, Aksum was the first African civilization to mint its own coins, gold, silver, and bronze, stamped with crosses and crowns. Its architecture still stuns. The famous obelisks, or stelae, are monolithic towers, some over 20 meters tall, carved from a single piece of granite. These weren't just tombstones, they were symbols of royal power, pointing to the sky, carved with what some believe to be windows and doors, portals to the afterlife. But this wasn't just a material empire. It became one of the first Christian states in the world. Long before most of Europe converted, Aksum embraced Christianity in the 4th century CE, under King Ezana. Ezana's conversion was led by Frumentius, a Syrian captive who became bishop of Aksum. Christianity wasn't just a belief, it became state policy. By the 6th century, Aksumite kings were launching military campaigns in the name of Christian solidarity. King Caleb famously invaded Yemen to protect persecuted Christians, linking Aksum to Byzantine politics and Red Sea diplomacy. This African kingdom was now a religious, political, and economic heavyweight. It's hard to overstate how connected Aksum was. Its ships traded as far as the Nile Valley, the Levant, Arabia, and even India. Aksumite pottery has been found in southern India. Roman historians mention Aksum as a key trading hub. They weren't isolated, they were integrated. Think of Aksum as the global middleman of the ancient world. The Aksumite kingdom was hierarchical. At the top was the king, sometimes called king of kings, followed by nobles, priests, traders, and commoners. We don't have long written histories, but archaeology gives us clues. Wealthy graves filled with jewelry, glassware, and foreign imports suggest a cosmopolitan elite. Most people were farmers or craftsmen. Towns dotted the landscape, up to a dozen have been identified, showing this was a truly urban society. Christianity wasn't the only faith. Aksum's spiritual history is complex. A community called the Beta Israel, often called Black Jews, traces its roots to ancient Aksum. Their practices reflect ancient Semitic traditions, and their holy texts are written in Gwizi, not Hebrew. Some scholars say they're descendants of pre-Christian Aksumites with Old Testament traditions. Others connect them to later migrations or Jewish traders. Whatever the origin, they were part of Aksum's cultural fabric and would eventually become the focus of modern Israeli airlifts in the 20th century. Then there's the legend, the Queen of Sheba, King Solomon, and their son Menelik I, who is said to have founded the Solomonic dynasty. According to Ethiopian tradition, Menelik brought the Ark of the Covenant back to Aksum. Today, the Church of St. Mary claims to house it, though no one is allowed to see it. Myth? Maybe, but it reveals how deeply intertwined Aksum is with both biblical and African identity. Aksum's fall was gradual, but devastating. By the 7th century, trade routes shifted. The rise of Islam cut off access to the Red Sea. Arab merchants and new Islamic states dominated the Indian Ocean. Aksum's ports lost influence. Its Christian identity became isolated from the wider Christian world. The capital shifted inland. Power moved to the Aga people, who later formed the Zagwe dynasty. Aksum's glory faded into memory. By the 10th century, the obelisks stood silent. The coins stopped minting. The empire was forgotten. But Aksum wasn't erased. Its script, Gwizi, lives on in Ethiopian liturgy. Its Christian tradition still shapes Ethiopian orthodoxy. Its legends inspired kings, chroniclers, and artists for over 1,000 years. Today, scholars and archaeologists are slowly rediscovering its buried cities, stelae fields, and secrets. It's time the world remembers Aksum, not just as an African kingdom, but as one of history's great civilizations. Aksum was once one of the four great powers of the ancient world, and yet it's barely remembered today. What other forgotten empires deserve their moment in the spotlight? Drop your ideas in the comments. Your suggestion might be our next episode. If you uncovered something new today, give this video a like, and if you're passionate about lost civilizations, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're just getting started.